A dreadful topic, but something that we need to speak to hear about and know about, called gallbladder cancer. And basically, what we want to know is how this dreadful disease can creep up onto or into us without us knowing what's going on till it's too late. So, my name is Dr. Vinay Samuel Gaikwad. I'm the Associate Director and Head of Surgical Oncology at Paras Hospitals in Gurgaon. So let's talk about the gallbladder for an instant. So what is the gallbladder and what does it do? So to put it simply, the gallbladder is a small pouch that looks like a pear, the fruit pear, and it sits right under the liver. So what it does is it stores bile, which is a juice that the liver produces for digestion, especially of the digestion of fats, and it stores it stores this bile, and when we eat something, it kind of squeezes out the bile, which then mixes in the intestine with the food and then helps us to digest food. But we must know that the gallbladder itself is not completely essential, and we can very well live without the gallbladder. So what are the common problems that this organ can cause in our body? One of the problems it can cause are gallstones. A very common problem. I'm sure we all have heard, or we know somebody, or we ourselves have undergone an operation for gallstones. So basically, it's something we call cholelithiasis, which is nothing but gallstones. And when substances in the bile, like cholesterol or bile pigments, crystallize and form solid objects, these are stones that we call gallstones. Another problem that can happen with the gallbladder is something called cholecystitis, which is inflammation of the gallbladder. Common way to put it, infection, but the more accurate term is inflammation, and that can cause the wall of the gallbladder to get swollen up and cause pain, sometimes extreme pain, and other complications that can happen. There's another dreaded complication called gallstone pancreatitis, when the stone slips out of the gallbladder, enters the bile duct, and kind of blocks the pancreatic duct, or the duct that's coming from the pancreas and emptying through a common channel into the intestine. Sometimes the stone can get impacted there and cause a very serious problem called pancreatitis. And also what we're discussing today called cancer. So gallbladder cancer is something that can unfortunately happen in the gallbladder, and they usually because of stones. And why it's very important is that usually we detect it very late, when it's very difficult to treat it, and that is because it is very difficult to diagnose it in an early stage. So now, who can get gallbladder cancer? Are there some particular type of people that are more predisposed to get this cancer, or what's the deal? So the right answer is anybody can get this cancer. Nobody is immune or free from the risk of developing this cancer. The older you are, the higher the risk of developing this cancer. Unfortunately, by being a woman, you have a higher risk of developing gallbladder cancer. Maybe because the incidence of gallstones is higher in women. There might be other factors that are involved as well. A family history of gallbladder cancer, which means if somebody else in your family has had gallbladder cancer, it increases your risk a little bit, although not too much. Certain ethnic groups or geographical locations, for example, North India, the Gangetic belt, where there's a high incidence of gallstones, and therefore there's a high incidence of gallbladder cancer, especially in North Indian women. Smoking can contribute to development of this cancer as well as many other cancers. And then, most importantly, if you have diseases in the gallbladder like gallstones, gallbladder polyps, and so on, these are extremely something that we have to take extremely cautiously and carefully. So now gallstones, more than 90% of people with gallbladder cancer have history, or we detect gallstones in those patients. and the chronic irritation or the persistent irritation of these stones in the gallbladder is what ultimately over years possibly can develop into cancer. Polyps, especially if they're more than 1 centimeters or there are many polyps in the gallbladder, which can be detected on an ultrasound if we're having pain, or even incidentally, which means for some other reason we get an ultrasound. A porcelain gallbladder, which is a certain type of disease that affects the gallbladder. If there are abnormalities in the bile duct and how they're structured, that can be a risk factor. And if there's long-term cholecystitis, long-term inflammation, that can be one reason. And diabetes is something, unfortunately, that is linked to gallbladder cancer. What are the signs and symptoms of this disease? If we know what signs, we can take it seriously and maybe consult someone sooner than later. So abdominal pain, mainly in the right upper abdomen, is something that could be gallbladder cancer, but yes, it could be many other things. So it's not that if you have right upper abdominal pain, you have gallbladder cancer. It could be just in the inflammation of the gallbladder. It could be hepatitis, it could be gastritis. There are many other reasons for it, but yes, that is one of the signs. Abdominal bloating, yes, there are many other reasons that could be there, but this is one of the signs of gallbladder cancer. Losing weight without trying. We're not trying to lose weight, but over a period of months, maybe we lose a significant amount of weight, or you might notice someone else who's lost it. So it could be suggestive. So it's something that we need to keep in mind. Nausea is another thing. And jaundice. Now usually jaundice means yellowing of the eyes and the skin, and passing very, very high colored or very extremely yellow urine. That could be something that's alarming, and usually by the time gallbladder cancer causes the person to have jaundice, it's quite late on in the disease. So it's not a good thing. And this jaundice usually, which we call obstructive jaundice, causes itching of the skin. So the person usually complains of scratching, and you can see scratch marks on the skin if you look. So why is gallbladder cancer so dangerous when compared to other cancers? So firstly, it is dangerous because it is relevant to us. It is very common in India, and specifically North India, where the estimated incidence is about 9 per 1 lakh or 100,000 women in North India, which is a very, very high number. It's one of the highest in the world. So it is a very Indian disease here in India, where we have very, very high numbers, a lot of people who we treat with gallbladder cancer. So that makes it dangerous. Another thing is it mimics common non-cancerous conditions, which means things like gastritis, which is a very common problem. Having acidity, having pain in the abdomen. These are very common problems, and we tend to think that it's something mild, and usually it is. Usually it is not a cancer, it's usually not. But so because we take it lightly and we end up self-medicating sometimes, and maybe consult a physician, even they might not take it seriously because there's no reason for them to. We can miss out and therefore detect this cancer late. So because it's detected late is why we have a problem. The later you detect, or the later stages that the cancer is, the worse the outcome, or the lesser we can really do something to cure the patient. Now, exceptions to a person who might be detected late is if sometimes because of gallstones or some reason we do a routine gallbladder removal or a laparoscopic cholecystectomy, your surgeon will send the gallbladder for analysis in the laboratory, and the report comes back surprisingly as a cancer. So these group of people can be cured because it's something that's incidentally diagnosed or something that we didn't anticipate, but yes, we came to know that because of routine testing. So these are the exceptions for situations in which we detect the disease late. Or maybe we get an ultrasound for something else, and your ultrasoundologist suddenly says, hey, there's something wrong with your gallbladder, maybe a polyp, maybe a mass, maybe stones, that are looking a little extraordinary. So that can be something that a situation in which we can detect things earlier. Also, it's an aggressive tumor and spreads rapidly, does not give as much time, and if we delay things, it usually spreads at a very rapid pace and spreads to other parts of the body like the liver, lungs, and the bone, and so on. So that is why it's very dangerous and something that we must be aware of, because it's a very common cancer in the place that we live specifically. So how can you reduce your risk of this cancer? The first thing that we can do is maintain a healthy lifestyle. So we can lose weight if we're overweight, we can stop smoking, stop consuming alcohol, at least decrease it. And this can in itself solve a lot of health problems, including gallbladder cancer. Any prolonged or persistent abdominal pain or the symptoms that we have mentioned should be evaluated sooner than later. So we can do an ultrasound, maybe an endoscopy, blood test. That will be guided by your physician or gastroenterologist or surgeon. And if gallstones or polyps are present, you must discuss with your doctor whether the gallbladder should be removed. And what I say is, when in doubt, get it removed, because it's a very safe procedure. It can be done easily and simply, and it can save you a lot of problems later on. So especially if you have multiple stones, a large stone maybe more than 2 centimeters, a polyp more than 1 centimeters, multiple polyps, these are risk factors. And if you have diabetes in the background, I think it's something that should be taken seriously and dealt with as soon as possible. So it can be diagnosed, gallbladder cancer can be diagnosed obviously in consultation with a specialist, by an ultrasound, which is sonography, some blood tests like liver function tests, tumor markers like CA19-9, a CT scan. Many times we have to do a PET scan, which is a whole body scan, which is specific to cancer. Sometimes we have to biopsy the lesion to ensure that we know what we're dealing with. And sometimes we also have to do special tests like an endoscopic ultrasound and many other tests that might have to be performed. Now, the treatment, like most cancers, can be surgical or maybe chemotherapy, sometimes radiation therapy, targeted therapy, immunotherapy. All these therapies are there, but obviously we don't want to discuss too much about the treatment, but we want to concentrate on how we can prevent or how we can raise awareness about this cancer. But one thing we must keep in mind is the earlier it's detected, the more possible it is for us to actually get it cured. And usually that requires a surgery, which is safe and effective. But many times we have to have a combination of therapies. Like maybe we might require chemotherapy, maybe chemoradiation. Sometimes in more advanced stages we might have to even think of immunotherapy and so on. So I hope that this information is useful to you. And it's important for us to be aware of what these cancers are. Although it's not a topic we like discussing casually, but it's something that needs to be taken seriously. The more you know, the more aware you can be, the more you can help others, the more you'll be surprised how this information can actually help someone you know or someone that's close to you. So stay tuned to this channel, and I'll be talking about other cancers, and more specifically gastrointestinal cancers or hepatopancreatic biliary cancers. Like gallbladder cancer is one of them, and I'll be trying to share basic information about these cancers and how we can help decrease these cancers from developing in the first place and detecting it early. Thank you for watching, and have a good day.